right, 7 o'clock in Gardner, Kansas. Call the meeting to order. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening, everyone. Okay, we have a fairly short meeting. Clock is ticking. There is a football game on this evening, but nevertheless, we will make sure we take care of all of our business appropriately. We have a presentation this evening with Gons, Substation 4 Preliminary Design and Opinion of Probable Cost. Gons, the floor is yours.
Council. So in 2022, the city retained Olson for the sub 4 land acquisition, and included it was divided in two phases. Phase 1 was the siting and land acquisition, and the phase was concluded July 2022. The land was purchased late in December 2022, and then we gave Olson the okay to move forward with phase 2. Phase 2 is the preliminary design and the opinion of probable cost. So tonight we have Olson here to do the presentation of the preliminary design and the cost. Thank you.
Thank you, Gons. If you could state your name and address for the record.
Sure. My name is Daniel Bauerkemper. My address is 10231 Long Street, Lenexa, Kansas, 66215.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So on behalf of Olson, I'd like to say thank you for the opportunity to get and serve the city. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. We appreciate that, of course. So thank you. So this is for our new substation project, Substation 4. The project overview is to allow for the provision of safe, reliable electricity to the residential, commercial, and industrial development. I believe, as Gons had alluded to, there had been previous studies done that determined that there was needs in this area of Gardner based off of forecasted load expectations. Phase 1 included planning and research, transmission line siting, land acquisition, as he mentioned before, surveying, civil engineering, public outreach, and a preliminary substation design was initiated. This design met Southwest Power Pool best practices, and I'd just like to note that all of the project aspects were performed in-house by Olson: our land survey, field services, public engagement, environmental surveys, permitting, civil engineering, and of course this was to allow for efficiencies within the context of the project. As mentioned, we were retained by the city in 2022. We were broken into two phases. Site location was phase 1. The preliminary design was phase 2. As he mentioned, it was completed. Phase 1 was completed in July 29th of last year, and the city decided to go ahead and purchase 10.8 acres of land for the new substation and authorized us to proceed with phase 2. This was the location that was determined. I believe there were 3 that were assessed in phase 1, and this one selected was the location on South Clare Road. Our preliminary design included an ALTO survey, survey descriptions and exhibits, a geotechnical exploration, geotechnical report, preliminary substation engineering. I'd like to add that that's a 30% design, so this is a conceptual design. Transmission engineering, civil engineering, and I would also like to underscore an opinion of probable cost, and a stormwater drainage and design. So Haley, who was on our civil team, will be speaking, Hayden, I apologize, and Brennan will be speaking on the substation technical aspects. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to do a quick overview of the substation portion. So kind of what you're seeing in front of your guys' faces, the plan layout view. So the preliminary design of the substation, including the Gardner side of the substation as well as the Evergy protection side, so that they have adequate protection for their transmission side as well as Gardner for their own power needs. This also includes 2 transformers for future expansion of Gardner. Gons had mentioned that this would primarily be for residential purposes. So the opinion of probable costs and the remainder of the design only includes 1 single transformer, with the second transformer being implemented most likely 10 to 15 years after that for future expansion. I'll turn it over to Hayden for this slide.
From a civil perspective, to keep it conceptual, we had our grading plan, which also took a look at storm drainage and keeping existing draining conditions as much as possible, everything flowing essentially from the west to the east while maintaining the drainage conditions that we needed in order to work with the substation and the equipment, as well as looking at the existing drainage and pipes that were there to help with that. And then also from a conceptual standpoint, we provided an erosion control plan as well and a site plan.
And then the next few slides are going to be a little bit more in-depth design side for the substation. So this slide is going to be the layout view of the substation equipment itself. So a lot of this equipment has to be kept at a regulatory height, as well as several of the equipment included is made to protect kind of the most expensive piece of equipment, which is going to be the transformer on the Gardner side. So this includes the breaker, switches, any bus supports, any relay information, anything that you would need to protect a substation from any type of lightning strike or surge of electricity. Just to go into a little bit more detail, this is going to be the electrical side of those protections. So how all that equipment kind of communicates with each other. What we're looking at as far as the protection goes, which event determines which type of protection is needed, things along those lines, as well as the next slide. Goes on the low side of the transformer, so it includes the transformer as well as the distribution side switchgear, all kind of communicating all at once to ensure that Gardner has good, clean power that is protected at all times. And then, so this final slide is going to be the opinion of probable costs. Kind of to echo what Daniel had mentioned, this is an opinion. This is based on some of our most recent timelines and as well as costs of equipment and labor and manufacturing. And this can vary dependent on when implementation construction happens, as well as material costs, labor costs. As we all kind of know, with inflation fluctuates, can go up, can go down. Right now we're kind of seeing a trend of upwardness. But yeah, this is including the substation, the civil, the transmission for the Gardner side alone. As of now, we are still in communication with Evergy, depending on their needs for protection. So with their side, their responsibility, their kind of costs and what they would put towards the substation is still to be determined. So not included in this cost specifically, but. And then I'll hand it off to Daniel.
So at this point, phase 2 is, I would say, 98% complete. The only reason that I left the 2% there was because Evergy has informed the city and Olson that they are intending to meet with us mid-December to talk about any costs or requirements that they may have on their end. So unfortunately, at this moment, I can't address that. But to rewind real quick, and then I'll open it up for questions, of course. These previous drawings, I just want to state, were reviewed and were worked on in cooperation with Gons and his staff at the city. So we're very confident that these are usable documents as a basis, again, preliminary basis for any design plans that the city may have. But with that, this is where the project itself stands. I don't see any issues wrapping it up in mid-December as long as Evergy gives us usable information. But all these other points, which are straight out of the contract, have been met as far as I know. And we just go through a final approval by GONS. So, but thank you. If there's any questions, please feel free. So,
Thank you. Council, do you have questions?
The only question I had was about the interconnection transmission line with the Evergy. So I'm assuming that right now this cost is exclusive of Evergy's costs or cost recovery, that they're going to be, taking care of. Anything that comes back from them in terms of pledges on their end, that's not being removed from this estimate. It's actually just going to, it kind of sits on its own, correct?
correct.
That's right.
That's my understanding as of right now. And just so you know, that because the site itself was well selected,
Yep.
it is right by the transmission line, so
Exactly.
those costs are really minimized,
I totally
which
agree.
is great.
Why we did it.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
yep, absolutely.
I don't have a question for Olson, I have a question for Bill. Do we have an estimate on what it will cost to put in the security system and connect the SCADA system into this? I mean, I realize that'd be post-construction, but do you know that?
Excuse me. As far as the protection will be part of the project. Now, the interconnection will be basically running fiber from sub 4 to sub 1. That's all it will require. And an RTU to communicate the information to sub 1.
Okay.
I don't see that as being a large cost to implement.
Scale.
Relatively.
CIP 2024 for this, or 2025? I think we decided we're going to move this up on the schedule, correct?
So I have a CIF later in the meeting, but originally the sub 4 was 2032. Then I moved up to 2025, but due to the lead time that is anywhere between
Yep.
18 to 24 months and maybe
That's
more,
Why I
I
was
think we
asking.
need to start now to get the equipment by 2025, hopefully 2026 or by 2025.
All right. Yep, that's what I thought. So financing, we're good on that?
We actually moved it up, the cost into the 2023 budget. During the budget process, we knew we were going to have to move it up.
Yep.
Obviously, the cost came in higher than we originally anticipated, so we will be looking at issuing debt to support it.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right. Move to public comments at this time. Members of the public are welcome to use this time to make comments about city matters or items on the agenda that are not part of a public hearing. If you wish to come forward, please limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. There is a time clock to your left. No profanity, no personal attacks. With that being said, come forward, state your name and address for the record. The time is yours. All right, no one coming forward. We'll move to consent agenda. Is there an item on the consent agenda you'd like to remove? Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion Deaton, second Ween. We approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Abstain? I do want to point out, Tori was ill this evening, and so she could not attend, so we still do have a quorum. Okay, nothing on planning and zoning consent, no committee recommendations, no old business, move right to new business. New business item number 1, consider appointing Renee Rich as interim city clerk for the city of Gardner and administer the oath of office. This is me. This is me, yes. So I assume we vote on this first and then.
Yeah.
Okay. Sharon is leaving us and taking another position in Florida, right? And you may want to speak to this. I'll give you plenty of time to speak. So,
Florida?
I was just talking with her prior to the meeting, and it sounds like it's a great opportunity. be close to the beach or on the beach most of the time working.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously, it's a great thing for her.
Yeah, it is.
But it's been 19 years, is that right?
Just shy.
Just shy of 19 years, yeah. And your positions, you've held several positions.
I started out in public works
Okay.
and then moved to the finance department and worked under Laura for a while, and then they moved me over to the city clerk position when Amy got promoted up.
Okay. Well, it's very sad to see you leave, obviously.
I mean, doesn't that mean she has a few more to do before she can leave?
Yeah.
That's not a bingo or anything else.
I will say this, I've seen 5, I think, city clerks come through since I've been on the council. Your minutes and your communications, both internal and external, I have never seen anything better than what you've seen, what I've seen from you, and I am so, it's a bittersweet thing. I love the fact you're going to be in Florida. I was born in Florida, and I know how great the weather is down there. You'll love it. You'll enjoy it. But we are going to miss you profusely, and you know, Renee's got some big shoes to fill. I'm sure she'll be able to. But thank you for all your work and for the excellent professional way that you conducted your duties at city clerk. Just an amazing job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, is there a motion for new business item number 1?
So moved.
Second.
Motion, Deaton, second, Shoot. We appoint Renee Rich as the City of Gardner interim city clerk effective November 2023, and direct the city clerk to administer the oath of office. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? All right. This is your last official duty, correct?
Last official duty.
Yeah.
Okay. I state your name,
I, Renee Rich,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and faithfully discharge the duties
and faithfully discharge the duties
as the interim city clerk
as the interim city clerk
for the city of Gardner, Kansas.
for the city of Gardner, Kansas.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
All right. Well, welcome, Renee. We're excited to have you here. All right. When is your official leave the city?
November 29th.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's quick.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, congratulations again, though.
Thank you.
Happy for you. All right. New business item number 2, consider authorizing a scope of work proposal from Olson for Substation 4 final design, equipment and construction specifications, bid review, and recommendation and project management. Cons.
As mentioned earlier, the sub 4 was originally scheduled for 2032 and moved to 2025. But in order to meet a functional sub 4 by 2025, 2026, we need to move with the final design, equipment and construction specifications, bid review, and project management. So I'm asking City Council to retain Olson and to provide us a proposal for this scope of work.
Okay, thank you, Gons. Is there any public comment on new business item number 2? Council, do you have questions? I've already discussed this.
I do have one other additional question. Sorry, guys. So this is just the southeastern part, the new development that we just announced up along the interstate, between the interstate and New Century. That's not going to be covered by this substation. We're going to have to do something else.
The plans is to interconnect substation 4 with sub 1 as a emergency feed.
And that would cover.
To go back.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we have another project which is substation 1, transformer 2, we're upsizing the transformer for any developments north of Highway 56.
Yeah.
That would include that portion of the city. So yeah, we'll take care of that one. Any other questions?
All right. Do a motion for new business item number 2.
So moved.
Second.
Motion shoot, second deed. We authorize the city administrator to request a scope of work proposal from Olson for substation 4 final design, equipment and construction specifications, bid review and recommendation, and project management. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Abstain? New business item number 2 passes. We look forward to working with you. Thank you for coming tonight.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move to council updates. We'll start with Chief.
We went through the captain process, and we will be promoting Zach Roberts to captain effective November 25th.
Okay.
And that's really all I have.
Great. How are we doing on staffing?
We have, I think we have 5 vacancies, so we have started doing a little bit more recruiting and advertising to try to increase our recruitment. We just recently had a new officer come in and say that law enforcement wasn't for him. So that was kind of shocking, but better to find out sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So we have 2 still in training. One is in the academy, and one is in field training, getting ready to get released. I think she has 5 to 7 days left.
Oh, great. Okay. Thank you. Sharon, do you want to say anything before?
I just want to thank staff and the governing body for the support over the years.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Renee, welcome. Anything you'd like to say? Put you on the spot?
There are any other oaths we can get you to take in the next couple of meetings?
Matt, finance?
Nothing tonight.
City attorney? Okay, Gons?
Nothing tonight.
Jason?
Real quick, Christmas in the Park this Monday, 7 o'clock, Cornerstone. It's going to be chilly, so dress warm.
Question about the new park at Veterans. I've heard some issues that we've had some of the kids jumping over the equipment, and breaking the gates and stuff like that. Do we have a potential solution in terms of monitoring or anything like that? No, electrification. We're not going to electrify the fence.
Yeah.
All right, you don't even joke about that stuff, guys.
PD has increased patrol over there, and we're also waiting on a security camera. It's
Okay.
supposed to come in hopefully this week. So.
Good, good.
And then we've got power out there ready to mount it. So.
Thank you.
Dave?
We have Planning Commission next Monday at 7 p.m., so it'll serve as a warming station also for Christmas in the park. So that's all I have for you tonight.
Perfect. Kelly?
We received the initial draft of the study on the Mulberry and Main signal. I'll just briefly go over a couple of the points there. First one is that none of the signal warrants from the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices that are used are met at that location. So from an engineering standpoint, a signal is not warranted at that intersection. Also, it was unlikely that any of the pedestrian traffic crossing Main Street was associated with any school crossings. The timing just wasn't right for when kids would be crossing, so it doesn't seem that there's a pedestrian issue there. And then also removing a signal at that location would actually limit the most common crash type at that location, which is rear-end crashes. That said, the recommendation from the report was that we should leave it open for another 30 to 45 days, typically a whole 90 days from the time that the traffic changes is what the steady period for a traffic signal removal would require. That gives the public some additional time for input, and then we can compile that input and present that to the council probably in mid-December from our traffic engineers. The other consideration here is the fact that the signal system in its entirety has reached its end of life. So it's not just a matter of turning it back on, we actually have to replace all of it. So that's approximately $250,000 to $300,000. So there's a little bit more to it on the financial side. That's the reason that we looked at it as the project was going along, because there was that cost associated with it, and we wanted to make sure that if we were going to put it back, that it was warranted. So we will probably bring some more additional information in about a month. We can make a decision then.
Is that signal system also connected to the one at Elm Street, and is that going to also need to be replaced at some point?
The one at Elm will eventually need to be replaced. Currently, none of our signals are interconnected. We've
Okay.
actually recently found out we're going to get a grant for signal interconnection.
Great.
And that will actually allow us to remotely monitor all of our signals and connect them to where we can basically get traffic flow to work much
Great.
better.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, Kellen. Councilmember Deed.
Okay, you're gonna separate the football fans from the non-football fans for just a second, because, sorry.
Flag on the play.
Mark.
I have some thank yous to dish out. First off, Sharon, thank you so much for your years here, and personally, you've been wonderful to work with as my time on the planning commission and on the council. Always there when I need you, answering your phone and email, so thank you very much. Danica, her and her team on the Veterans Day thing that we combined with the school, I have heard nothing but compliments from the veterans that attended, and I know she put a lot of effort and heart into that, so I really appreciate all her work. The PD and the toy drive, I was out there, they were brave in the cold 2 days, they did amazing. I just talked to Officer Simatz about that, and I just really appreciate you guys doing that for the community and helpful. And then also, congratulations to the Blazer football team for making it to state again. I will maybe go brave the cold. It's supposed to be like 33 degrees next hour on Saturday for the game, but congratulations to the Blazer football team. And that's it.
Thank you. Awesome. Councilmember Ween.
Yes, also thank you, Sharon. Got to swear me in. So I did want to bring up one more thing. I would like to see if we should reconsider our paper of record. I know we've had it's gone back and forth, and there was some discussion whether or not it could be the Gardner News again. I just see if we could reopen the discussion, see if there's an opportunity. I feel like there is an opportunity for better transparency to be the Gardner News versus I'm not even sure where it's at with now the legal record.
Yeah.
So.
If I may, I would suggest that staff takes the time to revise the numbers, because we don't have adequate pricing since 2019. So I think it would benefit everyone to go back and get new quotes for those 3 publications that we have
Agreed.
pulled in the past, and we can bring that at a different meeting and at least show you what those cost savings are.
Absolutely.
Be happy to. Yep.
I don't-
That's a great idea.
I don't see the point, to be blunt, because we know what we're paying for legal record, 0, and the other 2 are more. I don't care what the number is, right?
Well-
To check the box. So
To that end, though, the Gardner News has changed hands,
yes,
and so I don't know what the current pricing models are.
okay.
And I would disagree. I mean, yes, I understand that maybe the legal record is nothing, but the hit on that is nothing. And I think if we want to be more transparent as a council, then we should be more transparent as a council and make it an opportunity for a paper that is actually gotten by folks within our community and actually supports our community to be something that we support.
So what legal notice is not being transparently displayed currently?
I'm saying that it brings a greater opportunity for it to hit more people's doors within the city.
They can pull up the legal record pretty easy, but okay.
I'm okay with checking. Seeing
I just
where
like
we're
to
at with
check.
range.
I'd like to bring it back up.
Can I add something? Since we had this discussion last time, I some cities have exercised home rule authority and don't publish in any paper. They just publish an ordinance saying they're going to publish all public notices on their website.
That is because of the statute change that was done at the state level, right? Because originally they couldn't do that. They had to use a newspaper with circulation.
The cities that have done it purportedly according to
Yeah. Okay. So I thought that wasn't covered under home rule by the initial statute, but I guess they just changed.
When
that.
we originally talked about it, it wasn't.
Yeah. So, okay, good, great. That's good to hear.
I mean, is there?
Well, then that's my recommendation.
Well,
is it opposed to?
I mean, the city website would be the most.
Well, we already publish our legal notices on our website. That's something we're already doing.
I know.
You have to find it.
I will say, for Pond Council Ellsworth is not here, there are some of the items that he brings forth that still do, I believe, have to be published
Yes.
in a newspaper, and I believe you still want to have ED2 go, right?
Yeah.
Or you, okay. So.
Just because you home rule out doesn't mean you can't select a paper.
You would then also have to declare a newspaper record for those documents. as
Sure.
well.
Yep. And I don't think the legal record is 0. I think the legal record, there is a cost to it.
It's very
It's
small.
negligible, but it's
It's
not
all but
0.
Pennies on the dollar.
Okay. I'm not averse to looking at the numbers again, but I know where you're coming from, Mark. Let's see what the differences are.
You okay with that? Okay, we'll see where we're at. Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. Council Vice President?
I got nothing.
Council President?
I was going to bring up some of the stuff that Casey did. So second to all those, and good luck, Sharon. Enjoy the weather.
Yeah. Is it Fort Walt? You go down the Panhandle or like the actual state?
The Tampa area.
That's where I was born and raised. What town specifically?
I'll be working for the city of Bel Air Beach.
Bel Air. Man, that's a neat gig right there. That's Pinellas County, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I know exactly where that is. Man, you're gonna hate living down there. I'm kidding. Traffic's bad, but the weather's great. So.
Right.
Awesome. Yeah. Now, again, what she said, thank you, Sharon. Thank you to everyone. And thank you especially to Danica. She did a great
Yes.
job. She, helped me say the right thing up there. So I always appreciate that. So, yeah, tremendous. I have nothing else. So with that, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion D, second shoot. We adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
All